All right, so I hope you're following, right? Two women accused, sexual harassment, verbal, physical, and Andrew Cuomo's response is, well, I'm just playing, I was playing around, just being banter, right? I'm just joking, and this is how I do things. This is how I tease people about their personal lives, their relationships sometimes. I'm just having fun, and look, if you took it the wrong way, I'm sorry. I wasn't flirting. I wasn't, that's kind of what he's saying. Okay, so look, first of all, I actually believe, I would say like 95% of these women's stories, right? And I believe it because a couple of things, but one is because their accounts, it seems way too detailed, right? Way too detailed. If you read the stories, they talk about the exact place that they were in, what they saw and how everything went down. And it just seems very realistic, okay? Seems very realistic. Number two, I'm not surprised that Andrew Cuomo goes after younger women. Okay, I'm not surprised. Look, I'm not 100% sure that I'm not 100% sold that Cuomo, randomly just kissed Lindsey Boylan, right? Like they were in Lindsey Boylan went to his Manhattan office, and as she was leaving the office and before she got to the elevator, he just went up, randomly kissed her on the lips. That one is, I don't know if there's, I don't know how they're gonna, there's no one around, right? I don't know how they're gonna prove that, disprove that. I don't know, but besides that, I pretty much believe the rest. Right? Look, Cuomo, he doesn't explicitly deny the harassment. Right? He doesn't call it harassment. He calls it banter. He calls it playful, teasing, making fun of, just, that. That's what he calls it. He only denies the actual physical part, the kissing, right? He also denies that he tried to proposition, like having sex with him. But now look, guys, whether you're a Cuomo fan or not, okay? This is the honest truth here, guys. Look, let's be very honest. Men sometimes can be very disgusting. All right? They can be absolutely very disgusting. Now, Cuomo is a man. He's not above the human nature of men. He is a man, right? He's a man in his 60s. He's not married. He got out of his long-term relationship in 2019. And he's in a position of power. Look, what happened with Cuomo is that his little head, right, was taken over when he was saying these things to women. Look, he probably did. He probably did want to smash Lindsay and Charlotte. He most definitely did, right? He definitely did want to have sex with them, right? He wanted that wop. Now, look, I'm not going to crucify the guy because he made some flirty and sexual remarks. Listen to what I'm saying before you throw the pitchforks, right? I'm not going to crucify the guy because he made some flirty, on the sole basis of some flirty sexual remarks. Like, that's human nature. That happens all the time. Right, guys, if you work in offices, right? I've worked in the office setting for 6 years. It happens all the time. Okay? Not just within offices, outside of offices, between man and woman, it happens all the time. Making, suggestively sexual remarks, being flirty, saying stupid shit. Guys do it, unfortunately, all the time. It is what it is. Man wants to fuck a woman. They'll do and they'll say and they'll be irrational, and all logic sometimes just go off, right? It's part of human nature. Now, listen. Now, here is where the governor fucked up. Okay, here is where the governor fucked. This is important. Look, you are the governor of New York. Okay, you're the governor of New York. You're in a massive position of power. All right, the governor of New York is not the same as the governor of Idaho. It's not the same as the governor of Arkansas or Kansas, right? Nothing against those states, but let's be very honest, folks. If you're the governor of New York, right, within governors, I'm sure there's a hierarchy, right? New York is probably, if you're the New York governor, you're probably the top dog. you're in a massive position of power. Okay? You are. That's being a governor of New York is no joke, right? That's in the United States. If you're a governor of like California, New York, these big states, there is scrutiny and there is responsibility and power that comes with it. So with this position of power, right? With this position of power, you approach women, right? You go to certain women, you hire, right? You give the okay. Sometimes you directly hire certain women because they're attractive and whatnot, and you make certain sexual suggestive comments, advances. No, right? That's where you fucked up. That's where Andrew Cuomo fucked up, right? Because essentially what you're doing is you're using your power. You're using your position, right? Of I'm the big guy. I'm the top dog within New York, right? In terms of government, I'm the top guy. And the truth is, him wielding that sort of influence and that sort of power when he approached women and when he, did whatever with women. Look, the very truth is, the very honest truth is, there were probably many women. There were probably a lot of women that he did this to. And out of, let's say, 10 women he did this to, a good number of them probably fucked Andrew Cuomo. Let's be honest here, folks, right? I mean, if you're a young woman and you join the New York government, right, and you're part of the government, and you want to go up in your career, and Andrew Cuomo makes this proposition to you, and if you fuck the guy and you do some shit with him and you entertain him for a little bit, you can sort of move up, right? News reporters, right? You want to get some more juicier stories. This is a very common thing, right? You sleep with politicians and they give you some stories, right? Now look, if that's what some women did, fine. I have nothing against that. I have nothing against women who do that. Really, I have nothing against women who do that. Now look, the problem is Andrew Cuomo, right, being the governor of New York, you can't be using your power. You can't be using your position of authority to intimidate, to coerce, to attract women within your office. This is the problem, right? The exact problem is within your little kingdom that you have, right? Within New York politics. You can't be approaching women and trying to fuck them. You can't be doing that. Okay, now look, I don't care if Andrew Cuomo goes out to a bar and he flirts with women, whether they're 25, I don't give a shit. Whether they're 55, I don't care. That's none of my business. Right? And he said creepy things to them. He said, do you like fucking older guys? Like, I don't care if Andrew Cuomo does that. Right? That's his business. Now, it becomes a problem, a huge problem, if you are bringing those tendencies in your office and you're doing it to women who are within your office, right? Look, there's no one above you. You're the top guy in New York. You're the top guy in New York, and you approach women, and it's a power dynamic, right? Women, a lot of these women, they probably did say yes. They probably fucked him, right? There's probably a tons of buried stories, right? Now, look, that doesn't give the green light to Cuomo. That doesn't mean that he's, yes, Andrew Cuomo, absolutely, because other women did it, that means you can keep, your behavior is being enabled. No, absolutely not. That's where he fucked up, right? The part where I don't care if he said sexual things to women. I don't care if he was playful and he tried to, sleep with different women. I don't care, right? But if you do that within your office, where you are the king, and you do that to women who are basically working for you, that's the problem. That's just not being smart, right? That's just your little head talking instead of your big head, right? That's your big head shutting off and your little head taking over. Okay, Andrew Cuomo, you're 60 years old, my man. You're the governor of New York. You've been doing this for, over 10 years. You've been governor of New York, for over 10 years. You have a history, right? Your father was a governor of New York, right? Can't you think with your big head just for a second? Look, I know the women are attractive. I know, You're in your office and you see young, pretty female colleagues, and I get you, but look, my guy, you're still the governor of New York. Okay, if you really wanted to smash, if you really wanted to do something, if you needed to get some steam off, okay, go on online dating sites, go outside and meet people. All right, outside your kingdom. The fact that you had to, I don't want to say pray, but it kind of is, right? The fact that you had to lure and try to get women that work under you and use and show off like, oh, I'm the governor of New York and this is my office and I got a box of cigars from the Clintons back in when I used to work for the Clinton administration. The fact that you got to do that, to me, it just looks so childish, right? Right? I mean, and look, I get, and I said this before, I'm not going to crucify the guy because of him, making sexual remarks and all that, but it's where you're doing it is the problem. Okay? It's where you're doing it is the problem. Now, look, what's even more crazy to me of this story is the fact that he's got top female aides, right? So there's Cuomo, and then there are his his secretary, chief of staff, blah, blah, blah. And there's a lot of, high females within position of power within New York State government. And it seems like they all knew what was going on. They all knew Cuomo, he likes women. And unfortunately, he approaches women within the office, right? And they covered for him. Melissa DeRosa covering for Cuomo, right? Telling other women to, hey, look, don't say, trying to shut them up. Like, to me, that's even more insane, right? The fact that he has certain high people, right, positions in power within New York State government covering for Andrew Cuomo is, to me, that's just crazy. But look, that's politics. That's politics. And look, what's the conclusion, guys? There will be an independent investigation by the New York Attorney General, Letitia James. And before we throw any stones and before we call people names, let's just see how the cards play out.